So we're back for the final day of Legacy, and the first deck that we've spun the wheel onto is Nic Fit. So Nic Fit is traditionally a black-green mid-range / toolbox deck. The old version was particularly well known for its use of Veteran Explorer, but nowadays, because of the printing of Witherbloom Apprentice in Strixhaven, we now have the ability to combo that with Chain of Smog, so it's shifted a lot to be that kind of deck. And like Maverick and other toolbox decks where there's no specific defined combo other than, I guess, the chain combo here, there's lots of different ways you can build it, there's lots of different things you can include, but this is the version we're playing today. So, to go over what is in the deck, main two cards to note are Witherbloom Apprentice and Chain of Smog. So Witherbloom is 2 mana 2/2. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, you drain your opponent for 1 life, and Chain of Smog is target player discards 2 cards, and then that player may copy the spell and choose new targets for the copy. So you could target yourself, and then keep copying Chain of Smog to keep copying it over and over and over. So the downside to this combo is obviously that it causes you to discard your hand. So your opponent can allow you to start the combo, discard your entire hand to Chain of Smog, the opponent takes 1 to 2 life, and then counterspell the Chain of Smog. So you should only go for this either when you have no other choice, or when you know the coast is clear. So to facilitate this, of course, we've got the whole scam package going on. So there's Grief to check the opponent's hand, along with Reanimate. There's also Lotus Petal and Dark Ritual to speed up, so you can combo them out faster. Veil of Summer, Sylvan Safekeeper to keep Witherbloom Apprentice alive. We're also playing Orcish Bowmasters, 1 copy of Profane Tutor, and then there's 3 Mausoleum Secrets. This is a 2 mana black instant. Search your library for a black card with mana value less than or equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So later on, it can be sort of a tutor, and since we're evoking Griefs and cycling these land guys, then this can potentially get to the point where it's essentially demonic tutor for black. Then up here, we've got Troll of Khazad-dûm and Generous Ent as our land cyclers, which we can, of course, go, cycle and then reanimate. 1 copy of GSC, and then just black-green lands over here. And then in the sideboard, we've got Surgical Extraction and Fairy Macabre for the graveyard decks. Opposition Agent to stop searching. Veil of Summer, that's self-explanatory. Assassin's Trophy as a catch-all to destroy whatever we need to hit. Pernicious Deed to blow up boards that are big. So this can be our anti-artifact, for example, card. And then Null Rod, similar, our anti-artifact card. And then 1 copy of Emrakul. Not sure why that's here. Anyway, that is Nic Fit. So let's jump into our first league of the day. Alright, round 1, we're on the play. This hand's not doing anything amazing, but we do have a Thoughtseize into a Bowmasters, so I'm going to keep. Alright, Bayou, Thoughtseize. What are we working with? Double Force of Will, Brainstorm, Orcish Bowmasters, so it's Grixis Delver. I'm just going to take their Bowmasters, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to take their Bowmasters. Let's see. Yeah, take the Bowmasters. Then over to them. Alright, so they're just going to Wasteland us on turn 1, which is basically what I expected. Grief. If we evoke this, we can only take 1 Force of Will though, and then if we reanimate, they'll just counter it. So I think we just wait. So let's play Verdant and pass. I also want a Bowmasters in this matchup, especially when I know they have Brainstorm. Opponent fetches, gets Underground Sea, Thoughtseize us. Alright, so fetch. They do have to force this back if they want to stop it, but at least that requires that they spend 2 more cards. Cast Veil. Alright, so force pitching the other force. But then their options here aren't great, because it's either take 1 of the 2 creatures and we just reanimate it, or it's just take reanimate. So either way, we get to get Bowmasters into play, and then their Brainstorm is terrible. So yeah, they just took our Bowmasters, drew Chain of Smog. Alright, land. They have land, Brainstorm, and 1 other unknown card. Yeah, let's just reanimate Bowmasters. And let's reanimate their Bowmasters so they have less Delve fodder and Delirium. So reanimate Bowmasters, target them, and pass. Plays Wasteland. Alright. Ooh, we just drew another Bowmasters. Okay, so just attack. I still don't think it's correct to Grief here. Plays the Volk. Alright, another Bowmasters is great. So let's go to combat. Swing. If they have a Bowmasters, it's correct to flash it in here. Bolt this, sure. Oh, I should have responded to that so that they couldn't Brainstorm. Alright, well, I'm just going to hope that they try to Brainstorm now and then ambush them. No, they're just not going to do it. Alright, now they're doing it. So now we flash in the second Bowmasters. Daze. Alright. Can't pay for days. They just always have it. Like, how in the world are we behind? Now they're just going to Murktide us. Amazing. How are we behind in this matchup? Oh, now we draw the Veil. And now we just lose the game, because there's nothing I can do. We're dead in 2 hits. Even if I draw a Witherbloom Apprentice, we just lose. There's actually just straight up nothing I can draw here to not lose the game. This is so stupid. Murktide is so stupid. All right. So let's see. Delver. Veil. I guess I need Assassin's Trophy so that if they resolve a Murktide, I don't just die. What gets cut? So even though Sylvan Safekeeper keeps these guys alive from a bolt, they're just a 1/1 that dies to a Bowmaster. Of course, you can sack a land to keep itself alive, but that seems like a really bad exchange. What else can go? It's Delver, so it's going to be super grindy, which means probably Petal or Ritual is not great. I'm going to assume I can't make use of this a lot of the time and just cut that. All right, let's run that. So I can turn one a Bowmaster and cycle an Ent, and then, or I can go cycle Ent and then Ritual into Mausoleum Secrets into Reanimate, and Reanimate a 5/7 on turn 2. That's decent. All right, so yeah, let's just play a Forest and pass. Scalding Tarn, fetch, Volcanic, Delver. That makes me really, really want to Bowmaster that. So Forest cycle, grab Bayou. Oh, we drew the Reanimate? Okay, this turn's going to be great then. So Bayou, Ritual, then let's cast Bowmasters, and we can pay for days. So kill that, and we can reanimate our Ent and still pay for days. All right, make a food, and then over to them, and then I can still cycle this Ent. Wasteland, sure. If they're wastelanding here when I'm 7 power on the board, then we're doing pretty well. Darcy, all right, so cycle this end of turn. So as long as I'm here, we have 1 creature in the yard, which means we can Mausoleum Secrets for another reanimate. All right, so let's take Bayou, then untap. Ooh, Veil of Summer. All right, so I'm gonna wait, I think. So go to combat, swing with the Orc and the Ent. I guess if they want to daze this, they can daze this, right? Nah, let's just pass. All right, we win this game, and then just run back the same thing. Yeah, run back the same thing. Well, we have a combo, and we have our combo in hand, and we have double Veil. So yeah, keep. So we basically just need to find another land, basically, so that we can protect all of this. Fetches with Tarn, gets Volcanic, plays Delver. All right, another Veil. All right, over to them. Delver trigger. What is it? No flip. Underground Sea. Delver attacks us. We go to 19. So this is representing Bowmasters. All right, so problem is if I grief here, I have to get rid of the Bowmasters to see if the way is clear. The bigger problem is if I cast Bowmasters, it potentially just gets countered. I think the best shot I have is resolving Witherbloom this turn and resolving Chain next turn. All right, let's evoke Grief and exile Bowmasters. All right, target them. What do you got? Heat, Bowmasters, Daze, Murktide. Damn it. So it's multiple pieces of interaction that I can't deal with. Can't pay for Daze. Heat kills our guy. If I take Bowmasters, it just prevents them from having a play right now. But if I don't take Unholy Heat, there's never a time when I can resolve Witherbloom Apprentice where it'll survive. But if I don't take Bowmasters, they flash it in. I guess they flash it in and then I cast Veil to draw a card. So yeah, and deny them the target. So let's just take Unholy Heat and then pass. And they've got to flash in Bowmasters, right? Like they can't just not do that. Yeah, flash in Bowmasters, target us, cast Veil. So it denies them the token and we get to draw a card. I guess it doesn't deny them the token, but it means they can't target us at least. Wait, they shot itself? Why not just shoot yourself instead of itself? Huh. All right. You know you can shoot yourself, right? Did you snuff out? Okay, good. You can't kill Witherbloom. So Volcanic. Well, this flipped, so we're taking 4 now. I do have to still draw land. Somehow I still haven't drawn lands. They're going to snuff out their own guy so they can cast Murktide. Oh, they're going to snuff out Daze and then cast Murktide. Got it. Snuff out Daze, Murktide. Puts a 6/6 on the board. All right. Well, we have to chain win now. How have we still not drawn a land? All right, let's play Witherbloom. That's our only out to not lose this game. Over to them. Underground Sea. If they drew another Bowmasters, I don't want to block. So this is 6, 10. Yeah, okay. So no blocks. All right, let's go for the chain kill. Chain of Smog. Yield to Witherbloom. All right, we got it. Round 2. All right, round 2, we're on the play again. We have 1 land and a Lotus Petal, which is just not good enough. Yeah, well, this. All right, this hand also isn't good, but going to 5 is so bad. All right, let's keep and put a land back. So we're just going to turn 1, cycle the Troll. So Verdant, over to them. Volcanic. Okay, so Delver again. Of course, it's Delver again. I guess technically it was a mistake not to immediately play Lotus Petal, because I don't know if our opponent was on, like, if our opponent turned 1 to Sphere of Resistance or something. Grab this, Troll, cycle, grab a Bayou, then untap. All right, I can Ritual out a Grief. Let's play this. Let's play this. It's Ritual. Playing this so I can pay for Daze. Hard casting Grief. And they have Force of Will. Exiling Murktide. So Grief dies. And then it's back over to them. Polluted Delta. take one from Darcy. If I want to hardcast the Grief this turn, I have to sack the Lotus Petal. All right, waiting. It's like, do I want to pay for days? I guess I'm not doing anything else. It's not like urgent that I play this right now. All right, swing with the Darcy, go to 17. Okay, well, we're just drawing lands, so let's hardcast the Grief. They have another Force of Will. Force, it's pitching days. All right, so I did have to play around the days. Doesn't matter, though. Once again, despite somehow the fact that our opponent has double Force of Willed and they're still on head on cards. Ponder. Back to getting dazed bright and early. Yep. This deck does not do well if you're just randomly drawing off the top. It also especially doesn't do well if you draw nothing but lands. All right, go to 16. Well, we're still drawing nothing but lands, so over to them. Ponder. Bins of Misty. Vary the Surveil. Choosing not to shuffle. We take one. They're just missing creature or artifact in their yard to have Delirium. And we drew a Dark Ritual. Awesome. All right, well, over to them. We're just drawing absolutely nothing. Jesus. Plays another fetch land. And then over to us. I guess at this point, let's just thin our deck. We're almost like, this is just ridiculous. Veil Summer. Cool. Still can't do anything. So traditional Nic Fit does usually play more of a, like, Seek the Beast, so they're Rug Delver. Traditional Nic Fit usually does play more like big mid-range stompy things. They hit Trop, another DRC. Plays Tropical. Plays Questing Druid. Yeah, so they're going to put a bunch of stuff into play now. Darcy attacks us. We go to 12. Darcy from Exile. Trigger the Questing Beast. Resolve this. We're on a 3-turn clock, but probably more if they ever Delirium these. Another Dark Ritual. We've drawn actual no cards. No actual cards that do anything. Bolt. All the triggers go off. Mule's Bauble. All right, we're dead. Well, we just drew absolutely no cards. So, you know, what the hell are you going to do? Veil, Assassin's Trophy. So same thing as last game. Cut all this. I don't think my plan changes at all just because they're Rug Delver instead of Grixis Delver. Is Pernicious Deed good? I don't feel like it is. It still doesn't stop Murktide. It's a 3-mana spell against the Daze deck that we then have to pay even more for to use. I guess it's fine as like a Mausoleum target or something. Yeah, alright. Cut Ritual. The fact that they also have Questing Druid on top of everything is nice. Alright, so we've got, what? Sylvan Safekeeper, Thoughtseize. Hand's not great, but I'll keep it. So this, and let's just Thoughtseize them. It's very possible that we'll want to just take and reanimate a DRC. Yeah, they brought in Surgical for this matchup, I guess. Okay, so take Darcy, and then pass to them, and then I'm probably just reanimating their own Darcy. Volcanic, plays Bauble, cracks the Bauble. Bauble trigger, they draw a card. So they have 2 cards I don't know about. Oh, never mind, I just want to reanimate this thing. But no, I can't because they have Surgical Extraction. So they can, I guess they can also Surgical their own Darcy in response to any reanimate. I mean, what else am I going to do? I think it may actually be correct to just chain of Smog them here. And then they can Brainstorm and put back cards they don't want to discard. If they copy it and target us back, then we just target them back. And then like we both lose all of our cards. But my hand basically sucks. Like I can't do anything with it. This reanimate's dead because it's Surgical. All right, I'm just going to chain them. If they don't copy it, it's a 2-for-1 because I make them discard 2 cards. If they do copy it, then we just bin our worst garbage and then copy it back. So Brainstorm in response. That was to be expected. All right, does the chain resolve? Apparently it does. So let's see what they're ditching. Bolt land. Will they copy it? They will copy it. All right, we're going to discard Sylvan Safekeeper and Mausoleum Secrets, I think. All right, discard this, and I would like to copy it and pick them. So they can leave themselves with what? The last card is Surgical Extraction. Although if they copy it back on us, then we're just pitching our hand anyway. So this card's Wasteland Ponder. Will they copy it? They will. All right. We're all going to lose everything. Discard these. Copy it back. Target you. Discarding these. All right. So they hid the Surgical Extraction on top of their deck. All right. Well, we're both hellbent now. So let's see what happens. Surgical Extraction on Troll. Sure. All right. Now we're in top deck. We're both in top deck mode, although we have 2 lands and they only have 1 land. Although I don't know how helpful that is. We drew Witherbloom. All right, over to them. No actions from them. Reanimate. I can reanimate their Darcy, right? That's it. I guess I should what's the most likely way of winning this game? I can reanimate Sylvan Safekeeper, and then this can't be killed. Or I can just reanimate Darcy. How many types do I have? Sorcery, Creature, Instant. All right, combat, attack with Witherbloom. I don't feel like passing while doing nothing is the correct move here. I think I just reanimate one of their Darcys. I'm 1 away from Delirium, and it means that any spell that I draw helps me fix. It also puts more pressure into play. So let's reanimate Darcy. Sylvan Safekeeper is only good if I specifically draw another Chain of Smog. Well, apparently they have a spell. Surgical on their own Darcy. The one card they drew was Surgical. All right. Well, over to them. Wasteland. All right. We are much less able to go off with one land than they are. Mausoleum Secrets. All right, go to combat. Swing. And no actions from them. Back to us. Another Mausoleum Secrets. Amazing. All right, swing. We're going to hopefully win with a bear. I doubt it. We'll see. Bauble. Pops the bauble. Back to me. Bauble triggers. All right, there's another land. I can chain for exactly 1 mana spells. So let's fetch. Cast. I guess this is an instant. I don't have to do it now. All right, go to combat. All right, they're at 7. So I can Mausoleum Secrets for Reanimate. Or I can Mausoleum Secrets. Yeah, I have to Mausoleum Secrets for Reanimate. Pop Bauble. Brainstorm. I guess I'm going to do this now so they don't daze it. I can't imagine they keep daze here though, right? Because they need to just find answers. All right, that resolves. They found another land. All right, cast Mausoleum Secrets. Trigger Witherbloom. So I can grab Reanimate, or I can grab Dark Ritual, and then I can Dark Ritual, cast Mausoleum Secrets, and that's 2 triggers for the Witherbloom, and then I'm Reanimate. So I go Ritual, Mausoleum Secrets, find Reanimate. So that's 3 spells. They go to 3, and this puts them to 1. So yeah, I think I do that. So let's grab Ritual. Then back to us. Bauble trigger. We drew Bowmasters. Okay. So Ritual, Mausoleum Secrets, and then we have 2 mana remaining. All right, cast Ritual, trigger. I guess if the Bowmaster resolves, that's so bad for them, right? So Bowmasters, target them, yield to this. All right, cast Mausoleum Secrets, trigger. All right, we won. Yeah, run exactly the same thing back. We're on the draw. We don't have any lands, so that's a mole. All right, we got to Reanimate, assuming they don't have Surgical. Veil of Summer doesn't actually stop Surgical. All right, keep. What am I putting back? One of the 2 Trolls, because if I cycle the first one and they surge it, then I have a second one in hand. Yeah, so do that. Plays Volcanic. Another Veil. All right. Verdant Pass. Cast Brainstorm. Island. Play Delver. All right, fetch. I guess let's try to be Wasteland proof. Okay, so Forest. Swamp Cycle. Grab a Swamp. Go to my turn. Swamp. All right, let's try to Reanimate the Troll. Surgical. Of course they have it. Spells and permanents, but not cards in the graveyard. And they even get to see everything in our hand. I guess I should Veil anyway to draw a card because I'm not doing anything else with this hand. Yeah, all right, let's Veil. Force of Will, Brazen Borrower. Okay, so they exile all of our Trolls. So then the Reanimate fizzles, and then it's back to them. Delver doesn't flip. All right, we go to 18. All right, drawing an extra land there was great. Let's Zenith for 2. Obviously, we get dazed, but what can we do? Anything I was going to play this turn can get dazed. Seek the Beast in response. Exiles Force of Negation and a land. All right, grab Witherbloom and over to them. So next turn we go Veil Chain. If they don't have an answer to Witherbloom, we're good. Revealed Spell Snare. So plays the Delta, and we know they have this in hand. All right, they had a Bolt. Why not play this first and then play Bolt? Fetches Trop. Anyway, that fizzles out, so that's not relevant anymore. Yeah, they should have played this first. All right, well, I guess I'm just going to run out Pernicious Deed then. Play Pernicious Deed. Over to them. They attack. We take 4, go to 11. And then back over to us. All right, play a land and then just pass. Well, we can't just keep taking damage forever. So let's pop this for 2. All right, kill both of those. Opponent Brainstorms. Plays Darcy. Okay. Well, I just need to draw cards at this point. So fetch, Bayou, cast Veil, do Dark Ritual. So the problem with Veiling again here is that I can't actually resolve Chain of Smog as long as they have Spell Snare. Problem is if I don't cast it now and then I just brick on nothing. All right, I guess we just draw. Well, we drew nothing. Cool. All right, just pass. They are 1 type away from having Delirium. There's the Ponder. I should respond to this with Veil so that if I draw Bowmasters, I can kill it now. All right, Veil. Didn't. We did draw Reanimate, which can get Witherbloom back, but then I can't win. All right, that resolves. So then they get Delirium, and then we go to 7 on the attack. I've been through 3 Veil of Summers. They bend a Brainstorm. All right, we're at 7. I don't know how I can win this at this point. There's nothing good to Reanimate other than Witherbloom, I guess. Although Witherbloom does drain them, so there's that. I guess I can just Chain of Smog targeting them, and then they can counter it, but at least I gain some life. Land. Man, this deck just draws like crap, doesn't it? All right, Reanimate the Witherbloom. They have Spell Snare, so I can't chain. I think I'm going to chain them, and then I assume they'll try to they'll probably just Spell Snare it, right? I don't know. I can always just cast Dark Ritual in response to the copy. We're just so far away from winning. I'd have to draw exactly the fourth Veil of Summer in order to win with this. There's just no way, right? I'm more likely to draw like a removal spell for this or something. I don't know. I guess I could also draw like Grief. I can't draw Thoughtseize because then this kills me. I guess if I drew Grief, I could Grief the Spell Snare out of their hand and then go off. All right, let's pass. They have a Bolt anyway. All right, so we can't possibly win this game. I guess what? No, if I draw Assassin's Trophy, they just Spell Snare it. Yeah, we're dead. On to round 3. We're on the draw. Once again, we only have one land. It's not even the correct color of land, so we'll mull this. All right, turn 1 double Grief. So keep and toss Lotus Petal, or I can just hard cast the Grief, but that requires that I spend more cards. I also only get 1 trigger off of it. Yeah, so keep this, put back, Lotus Petal, done. Forest, no actions. If I go land, Ritual, Grief, pitching Witherbloom Apprentice, and play Bowmasters in 1 turn, it expends everything in my hand. All right, let's first just see what they're doing. The best card to pitch is probably just Ritual, right? And then I can just follow up with both of these. Okay, cast this, exiling Dark Ritual, trigger. What do you got? So it's Beanstalk Control, and they're missing another card. All right, so take Beanstalk, and then I don't even particularly want to take anything else from this hand. Like, I don't want to put Uro in their graveyard, and I don't want to take a Terminus that's in their hand already. I think I just wait. Just play this and pass. Try to do it on some other turn. There's the Plains. Lotus Petal. All right, Bayou, go. Just flash in Bowmasters. They drew another Beanstalk. All right, well, we're going to respond to that by flashing in Bowmasters. Target them. Then the Beanstalk resolves, triggers, and Bowmasters triggers again, shoots them. Plays Volcanic. Oh my god, we drew Chain of Smog. Alright, so this, let's reanimate Grief, trigger, targeting you. Leyline Binding, well, we're taking that. And then let's just run out Witherbloom, because we win next turn if they don't have an answer. Go to combat, swing, island. Alright, so they have to play Uro. Plays Uro, trigger, Bowmaster, target them. They just have a single white open, so they have to have drawn Swords to Plowshares or a Force of Will for the chain. So first things first, let's just attack them. Alright, Ritual, trigger Witherbloom. Alright, Chain of Smog us. Trigger Witherbloom. Copy. Alright, we got the loop. Copy, targets. We got it. So Beanstalk Control. What do I want? Surgical for Uro. I'm sure they play counter spells, but I don't know how many. Actually, Surgical for Uro, or do I just... Or Fairy Macaw. Surgical for Uro. What else? Assassin's Trophying a Beanstalk or a Leyline Binding really does not seem very good. So presumably they're a Force of Will deck, but not a Daze deck. Also, if they're a deck that's running Swords to Plowshares and Leyline Binding, that makes reanimating big creatures like Troll much worse, although these are also partially land, so I can't just cut them. I assume I don't win a long game against this deck. I probably just have to go faster than them. I'm going to cut all the Lotus Petals and then put in 2 Veils and 2 Surgicals. Alright, this hand's okay. Trop, Brainstorm. Alright, Bowmaster is a pretty good draw. I don't think it's correct to try to Ritual it here. Although I can at instant speed if I need to. So let's just run, play land, and then pass. All else being equal, we'll just cycle Generous. If they cast anything that draws a card, we'll cast Bowmasters. Misty, Ponder. Alright, let's go for it. Bayou, Dark Ritual, cast Bowmasters, target them. Then they resolve Ponder. They did not shuffle. Alright, and then before this mana empties, Force Cycle. And they're doing nothing else. We drew Grief. Alright, go to combat, swing. I'm not going to play around Terminus. If they have Terminus, they have Terminus. Play Witherbloom. Over to them. Another land. Fetch with Misty. Go to 14. Tundra. Fetch with Flooded. Volcanic. Are they going to, what, Aerolingus here? Or are they just playing Uro? Prismatic Ending. They didn't need to tap everything to do that, but sure. Alright, Delta, Combat, Swing All. Can't do anything else, so we'll just hit them down to 10, pass the turn. Plays a land. Swords to Plowshares, Orc, sure. Fetches with Misty, grabs another tropical island, and there's Uro. Alright, let's respond to this. I'm going to cycle the Veil anyway, so let's just do it now in case we draw Bowmasters. So Veil, we drew Witherbloom. Alright, that resolves, they go back up to 12, they get to escape it next turn. Drawing, Dark Ritual. Well, I don't really have much to do, so let's just Witherbloom, Dark Ritual, yield to this, hard cast the Grief, target them. Force Leyline Beanstalk. I mean, we're just going to lose to Uro unless I immediately draw Chain of Smog, right? So let's just make sure they can't Binding the Witherbloom. So take Binding. Combat. Swing. Alright, opponent at 9. Plays 8 Plains. Plays Uro. Gets another land. So this is their hand right now. So they should just play Beanstalk right now, right? Yep. Fetching to 11. Mystic Sanctuary. Oh, they can Mystic Sanctuary. Oh, they're Mystic Sanctuarying swords. I would have put Ponder on top, right? Well, I guess I just Thoughtseize Beanstalk. Trigger Witherbloom. Thoughtseize the Beanstalk. And then attack with Grief is all I can do. So they draw swords. They get to Swords the Witherbloom, and they get to attack with Uro. No blocks. They're at 10, and they have Swords Force 1 unknown card. Reanimate. This is a 6/6, so the Ent doesn't even kill it in combat, although... Alright, whatever. So go to combat. Attack with everything. They'll Swords something. Probably just Witherbloom, right? They're going to Swords Grief. Well, I've got nothing else to do. So reanimate Ent. And then they actually have Force mana. Hardcast the Force. Yep. Alright, over to them. And we're just losing to Uro. Still technically have to stay in the game, because if we draw Chain of Smog and they don't have an answer, then we win. Ponder. They did shuffle. Beanstalk. Alright, well, we've drawn 2 lands, so I guess, again, technically I'm not out. Go to combat. Attack with Witherbloom. Alright, play a land, go. We just have to exactly draw Chain of Smog, and they have to not have any answer to Witherbloom or Chain of Smog in the top 5 cards of their deck. Easy, right? I mean, never say never, right? Maybe your ad nauseum opponent ad nauseas themselves to death. 6 mana. Giant Aerolingus. Alright, we're dead. What was our next draw anyway? Veil. Okay. I guess Pernicious Deed is... They have Aerolingus, Beanstalk, and Uro to kill. None of that's great, though. I don't think I play on that access. I think if I'm ever getting to the point where I need to Pernicious Deed, the game's already over. Yeah, I'm just going to keep this the same. Alright, this is fine. Let's keep. Opponent mulls to 6. Mulls to 5. Land, pass. Tundra. Alright, I just want to thin at this point. Life total doesn't matter at all in this matchup, so... now we draw the Ant. Alright, play another land and pass. Volcanic. Alright, Flash and Bowmasters. Brainstorm in response. Target them. Swords to Plowshares our guy, sure. That at least means they don't have the swords for the Witherbloom that we're about to go grab. I guess we're not about to go grab a Witherbloom. This Mausoleum Secrets can't actually tutor anything right now. I guess it can tutor Profane Tutor. That seems really bad. So if I Ritual, 3 mana, Witherbloom, 4 mana remains. Or no. It's Ritual, 5 mana, this 3 mana remains. Cycle the Ant, 2 mana remains. Mausoleum Secrets, I can only get something that costs 1. So that's not good either. So I should just play Witherbloom and then just attack them with this Orc. I guess it would have been more mana efficient to Zenith, but I can also just cycle this with this land as well, which I want to do. Force of Will, pitching Ponder, sure. I could technically reanimate that right now, but I don't think there's a point in doing that. Swing here. I think I'm just going Cycle, Zenith, grab another one. Opponent fetches, Tropical, Beanstalk. Trigger Beanstalk, back up to 2 cards. Alright, cycle the Ent, grab Bayou. Sylvan Safekeeper. So first things first, attack with the Orc. Then let's go Safekeeper, then Zenith for 2. Witherbloom. Alright, over to them. Forest. We drew the Chain of Smog. Alright, well, so what am I mausoleuming for then? A black card. Probably Thoughtseize to just see if the way is clear. So I go Ritual, Mausoleum Secrets for Thoughtseize. Yeah, so Dark Ritual, trigger the Witherbloom, cast Mausoleum Secrets, trigger Witherbloom. So grab Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize our opponent. Veil of Summer. Alright, Veil of Summer it is. They still have to have the answer. Alright, let's just go for it. Chain of Smog. Resolve Smog. 2 cards. Has to be a counterspell that they can cast. Alright, copy Smog. Same targets. Alright, well, looks like we got it. Don't really understand why they're forcing us to play this out, but okay. Alright, we won the match. On to round number 4. You can also Ritual and tutor backup Smog in case the first gets countered. No, I can't. If I tutor another Chain of Smog and then I Smog myself, they just let the first one resolve, discarding my hand, and then they counter the copy. That's one of the things with the combo, is that if you start with Smog, they can just allow you to resolve it until you go empty-handed and then counter. All right, round 4, we're on the draw. This hand is really not very good. We have one of our 2 combo pieces though, so I'll keep. Ancient Den. All right, so Bomberman, Chalice of the Void on 0. I presume that's mostly just to get Opal online. All right, Verdant, and over to them. Bowmasters. Really? Okay. Don't think I've ever seen Bowmasters and Ancient Den in the same deck before. Take 2 from the Orcs. Wait, Chalice is on 0? So, Thopter Foundry. Very well. Let's fetch. Swamp Cycle this. We drew a Bowmasters. That's cool. All right. So over to them. All right, let's just Bowmasters their Bowmasters. Cast Bowmasters, target their Bowmasters. Then we make a token. Then our token blocks their token. Do they just have another Bowmasters? Of course they do. Bowmasters has got to be one of the worst play pattern cards I've ever seen in my life. Okay, well, we have 2 creatures in the yard, so we can actually win right now, right? No, I don't have enough mana. I go land number 3, Ritual. We have 5 mana. I'm 1 short of being able to win right now. Playing nothing doesn't seem like the move. So if I go Witherbloom Apprentice, I'm not blocking with it. It exposes it to removal, but it's exposed to removal next turn anyway. All right, let's just play Witherbloom and then pass to them and try to go off next turn. All right, combat. Swinging with both. No, not with both. Okay, swinging with the Orc token. No blocks. Take 2, go to 14. End turn fetch. Grab a land. Swamp cycle. I would really like to find a way. Okay, let's Thoughtseize them first. What we got cooking. Trigger Witherbloom. If they have an answer, they'll just do it now. Metallic Rebuke, Wishclaw. Yikes. So I still can't do anything, right? They can Metallic. So I have to have enough mana to get around Metallic, right? So I definitely take one of the 2 Metallics, right? And then how much mana do I have? Ritual, 3 mana, Mausoleum Secrets. No, I'm short. I have to wait a turn. All right, take Metallic Rebuke. So I'll Mausoleum Secrets at the end of their turn, and if they Metallic Rebuke it in response, I'll Ritual to pay for it. All right. Sacking Chalice to Thopter, make a Thopter. Okay. I guess I could have responded to that with Mausoleum, but I don't know. Maybe they draw Swords to Plowshares or something. Seed of the Synod. They can Wishclaw right now, but then they have no mana. So I'm pretty sure we just win. Attack with everything. No, not the bow. All right, we take 3, go to 9. They're going to tap out. Okay. Cast Mausoleum Secrets. Then resolve Mausoleum Secrets. Go grab Chain of Smog. All right, Wishclaw's in play. Swamp Cycle this. Why not? All right, yeah, so they know that we win. So sideboarding. They're running main deck Metallic Rebukes, which means I want Veils. They're an artifact deck, apparently. They have Wishclaw and Thopter Foundry and a bunch of artifact lands, so we want Null Rod and Pernicious Deed. They also are running Wishclaw, so I guess, yeah, Opposition Agent. So what's bad? Probably our Bowmasters, even though it does kill their Bowmasters. We didn't see any draw spells from them. And I don't need this to kill them anyway. And they have their own Bowmasters, which makes our Bowmasters not good. So, you know, those can all probably go. That leaves me with 3 cards to cut. Oh, that's always other. I guess Lotus Petal, if we're bringing in Null Rod, then I don't want anti-synergy with this. All right, so leave in Bowmasters. I don't think I want any of this or this. All right, run this. Our opponent's definitely cooking. This hand is so close to being good. We just need to draw a land in order to play Null Rod. And we have Witherbloom Apprentice and Thoughtseize and Veil. What's our hit count? 13 more lands plus 6 cyclers, so 19 cards, so 1 in 3 roughly. And we're on the draw. I'll keep Spire of Industry, Aether Spellbomb, sure. Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual. All right, let's Ritual, Thoughtseize, Baleful Strix, Urza Saga. I'm gonna take this, play Null Rod. They'll just pop Spellbomb in response. No, they won't. Okay. They're just going to beat us with the Urza Saga? Sure. Urza Saga. And then they can make Constructs next turn. They drew Wishclaw Talisman. Amazing. All right, well, we got to get online pretty fast. We have no land, no mana to do anything. All right, well, the Griefs are now useless. Over to them. Urza Saga, Spire of Industry, and now we just lose to this 1 land. Dark Ritual. I can evoke Grief, which allows me to Mausoleum Secrets for something. So I go Evoke Grief, pitching the other Grief, Ritual Mausoleum Secrets for 1 mana, and then what? So I'll Mausoleum and I'll have 1 mana left over, and I can only get a 1-drop, which is basically Reanimate, which doesn't help on this board. I guess I can Reanimate their Strix to try to draw another card, and the Strix will block one of their Constructs. Or, yeah, that's basically it. I'm not doing anything else, so cast Grief, Evoke Grief. All right, what's in your hand besides Seed of the Synod? Another land. Razortide Bridge. All right, that dies. Ritual. Mausoleum Secrets, go get Reanimate, Reanimate the Strix, draw a card. Well, it's a land at least. All right, over to them. So Construct, 4/4, and then they'll have 2 6/6s. No, 7/7s when they play another land. Construct gets Opal, plays Razortide Bridge. All right, block with Strix, dead. Our turn. Double Witherbloom Apprentice. All right, cast Witherbloom, go. They actually have something to play here. A Strix, okay. Seed of the Synod, 2 cards. All right, no blocks. Take 8, go to 8. I don't know what to do. suspend this, then we have to chump block this, then this is at 1 counter. Just playing another one. All right, so if I just play another one, we chump, and then we still have one in play in case we draw Chain of Smog. If I Profane Tutor, this chumps, then this goes down to 1 counter, and then if I don't draw anything else, I have to play another Witherbloom to just chump. And then the Profane Tutor comes off suspend, and I can tutor for what? Pernicious Deed will work if I draw 2 lands back to back. That seems like a losing proposition. Either line is bad. I guess the question is what's more likely. So, okay, the lines to victory are line number 1, Witherbloom Apprentice, chump, draw Chain of Smog. So it's 4 cards in 46 cards. Not very good. Option 2, suspend, chump, and then we have to draw exactly a sequence of like either different creatures that I can block with or mana sources, and then I'd have to tutor for Pernicious Deed and have 4 mana in play. No, I can activate it for 0 and blow up the Construct, but then they still have a Strix, but at least that's much slower of a clock. All right, let's suspend Profane Tutor. Back over to them. I technically only need to draw 1 land, so I have 2 shots of drawing any mana sources, basically. Plays another artifact land. All right, swing, swing. We have to block. Tutor goes to 0, or goes to 1 counter. We drew not a land. All right, play Witherbloom. Back to them. Swing, block here. Plays a land. All right, this comes off suspend. All right, cast Tutor. So we haven't drawn yet. I could pick Reanimate and reanimate their Strix, and then the Strix can chump block this, or can trade with this rather. I think that's probably the best option, right? And that also lets us hold up Veil of Summer in case they have a counter spell. Yeah, that's good. All right, let's grab a Reanimate. We drew another Veil. Reanimate on Strix. It resolves. We draw a card. Oh, they're going to Bowmasters. So Veil in response. So they can't target us or the Strix. We still didn't draw Diddley. So trigger, they can just target themselves or the Construct, whatever. It doesn't matter. Then this draws a card, and then we're actually still dead on the board to just the Bowmasters and the Strix, because I chump here and then I take 4 and die. Cool. All right. See, I don't care if they have, like, I'm thinking like, oh, they have Bowmasters and they have Strix. I don't really care if they have either of those, though. I just lost to Urza Saga, and Bowmasters wouldn't have helped in that case. It makes 2 blockers, I guess, but that just seems not great. Yeah, let's just run the same thing. I guess technically Assassin's Trophy can blow up Urza Saga. Maybe I should have put that in. All right, we can double reanimate Grief, or we can reanimate Troll. Problem is Grief still doesn't beat Urza Saga. It's just insane. All right, keep. I guess I can Grief them and then see what I want to do. What am I pitching? I think honestly Witherbloom Apprentice, because then that gives me the option of going Ritual, Thoughtseize, Reanimate, and cycle the Troll. All right, so cast Grief, pitch Witherbloom, trigger. What's in your hand? Deluge, Petal, Chalice of the Void, Strix, Strix, and they have Wasteland. All right, so I want to take Deluge so they can't just pay a bunch of life and wipe our creatures off the board. And then they can't even cast... Oh, no, they can cast Strix via Petal, right? So I can take their Petal, which slows them down. I'm definitely reanimating Troll. All right, so take Deluge. Then Verdant. Let's make sure we don't get Wastelanded. Dark Ritual. Cycle this. Grabbing... I do need to grab a green source just in case, though. Then reanimate the Troll. And then Thoughtseize them. Taking Petal. All right, over to them. These are now turn 1s in non-combo decks. I guess this technically is a combo deck, but you know what I mean. All right, 4-turn clock with the Troll. Go to combat, swing with the Troll. I'm just not going to play Bayou into their Wasteland until I need to. All right, Wasteland. Chalice on 1, presumably. Chalice on 1. I could Grief them again. Combat, swing. Is it good to Grief them here? Probably. All right, Grief. What do you got? Force, triple Strix. All right, well, take Force of Will, sure. This dies. I'm fine playing this now, I guess. No, I'm not. Over to them, and we're just going to try to win the game with this Troll. Combat. Swing. All right, I will Chain of Smog them. Smog you. Discards 2 Strixes. All right, Bowmasters. All right, so if they draw a blue land, they can play Strix and triple block. Petal. Oh my god. Land. I would Wasteland me if I were them. Yeah, well... Nothing else to do, so let's just cycle this and grab a forest and play the forest. And then I'm not attacking into this, so we'll just pass. Caracas. Top deck war, top deck war. Over to them. All right, let's not draw lands, so let's just thin land. All right, go. And then back to me. Drew Grief. All right, cast Grief. Force of Will, pitching Force of Will. All right, back to the staring contest. Tap land. Zenith. I can Zenith. The only thing I can Zenith for is Witherbloom, right? All right, Zenith. X is 2. Done. I still think I don't attack here. It just lets me kill them on the following turn if they don't draw an out. / if I draw any spell, they die. All right, we won the top deck war. On to round number 5. What was our opponent's combo, by the way? Like, they're using Wishclaw and Thopter Foundry, so they just have Urza in there. Do they just have the Urza sword combo in there, maybe? All right, round number 5. We are on the draw. What does this hand do? It has a turn 1 Thoughtseize. I'll keep, sure. Mostly on the back of Thoughtseize here. Misty Rainforest, Underground Sea. Well, we're being Thoughtseized, so I presume they take our Thoughtseize because our hand's really slow. Yeah, they took Thoughtseize. Reanimate. Well, so the worst card in my hand is Chain of Smog without the Witherbloom. Of course, I can also just reanimate Troll, but it's probably better to grief them. And if I'm griefing them, it's probably good to double grief them. I do need to play around days, right? Yeah. So grief and get rid of Dark Ritual. All right. Dimir Tempo. No. Ooh, Doomsday. All right. If it's Doomsday, I need to strip their hand as fast as possible, right? So Ponder. So then this dies. And then reanimate this. Cycle Street Wraith. Cycle Street Wraith. Cycle Street Wraith. All right. What do you got? Doomsday Brainstorm. Take Doomsday. Over to them. Brainstorm. Plays a land. Do I just smog them here? I think so. Then they just smog us back and we lose everything. But again, I think I just want to keep them off of having anything. So fetch, grab Bayou, chain you, chain a smog, daze it. Okay. Combat. Swing with grief. They've conceded that, eh? We only have a 3-turn clock. They could get there. All right. Doomsday. So Doomsday searches, right? Yeah. So opposition agent. And then after that, I don't think anything else matters. Surgical, like, can muck with... Surgical's just not very good. Like, yeah, it mucks with their Doomsday pile, but that's so mediocre. This doesn't matter. Veil matters to counter their counters. Trophy, Pernicious Deed don't matter. Null Rod, I guess they have Lotus Petal, but, like, whatever. So basically, what's the worst cards here? Oh, I guess I can Surgical... Like, if I Thoughtseize their Doomsday and then Surgical them, then they just lose. Yeah, all right. So Surgical in, this in. What is the worst cards here? Bowmasters is... Like, it's all right. It does make all their cantrips bad. No, yeah. Bowmasters can make them not able to win, depending on the board state. So what is actively bad? Nothing, really. Sylvan Safekeeper, I guess. I gotta cut more stuff, though. Maybe I just don't care if they counterspell us and just get rid of Veil. That leaves what? Kind of want to keep everything, and I can't really afford to cut these because they're essentially pseudo lands. So Profane Tutor is super slow, as is Mausoleum Secrets. So maybe though, because of the cards. I don't think so though. Maybe I just shave one of the combo. So like one chain, one Witherbloom. Yeah, all right, let's go with that. Huh. This hand does a whole bunch of nothing. All right, mulligan. This hand does something. All right, keep and throw away what? One of my 2 reanimates? Okay, that's good. Misty Rainforest, Underground Sea. All right, we're getting Thoughtseized. Now I really wish I'd kept reanimate. So once again, I assume they'll just take our Thoughtseize. Yep, takes our Thoughtseize. Dark Ritual, Land Petal. So I have enough to do everything here, assuming they don't daze us. I go Land, Dark Ritual, Cycle the Troll. No, I'm short. I have 4... So I have 4 mana. Yeah, all right. So let's just pass. I could reanimate the troll on turn 1. I think it's better to try to ambush them with opposition agent. Ponder. Misty Rainforest. All right, if not, I'll just cycle the troll. All right, fetch. Swamp cycle the troll. And then go to our turn. This. I guess before I go for it, I Thoughtseize them to see if they have Surgical Extraction or something. All right, Thoughtseize you. Fetch. In response, Ritual. Cast opposition agent. All right, so they have. I assume they have Force of Will and Veil, right? Like, that's why they would fetch ahead of time. So I'm going to be left with my only option being reanimating something. So I assume the best thing to reanimate is just opposition agent. And then if they have Daze on top of all of that, then we get got. Force of Will exiling Daze. They're exiling Daze, even though they know we have reanimate. Okay. So then Misty, Underground. They're getting Underground Sea. Oh, they're going to brainstorm away stuff in response? Sure. At least it's not Veil of Summer. All right, Thoughtseize, Resolve. Force of Will, Brainstorm. All right, take Brainstorm. Reanimate on Oppo Agent. Over to them. Blaze the Swamp. Cool. Drew a land. Combat. Swing here. All right, over to them. We have a 4-turn clock now, during which time they do have to find an answer to opposition agent. Cavern of Souls, name's Merfolk. Draw Grief. Sure. Combat, swing. Opponent goes to 9. Cast Ponder. Sure. They chose not to shuffle. Drew another Grief. I don't think I can afford to wait. Let's just evoke Grief. Force of Will, exiling Personal Tutor. Okay. Go to combat. Swing. Opponent goes to 5. They have 1 unknown card in hand and, well, 2 unknown cards in hand now. All right, we won 4-1 with Nic Fit. So, it's kind of awkward because the deck really did not feel very good, but apparently we did well with it. This combo, this Smog combo just feels incredibly fragile. None of the tutors for it, so Profane Tutor, Mausoleum Secrets, none of that feels any good. I think the deck is trying to, this version at least of this deck, is trying to put 2 feet in each bucket, and it's failing as a result. So you've got all of this combo stuff, right? Like Petal Ritual to speed up, and then you've got the Chain Witherbloom combo, and then you've got like Sylvan Safekeeper and Veil, and these tutors to get the stuff, but then you also have like the cycling guys to reanimate, and Grief. And like Grief and Thoughtseize, I guess, are technically ways of, you know, taking your opponent's stuff so that you can combo. It just felt very awkward playing it every single time. Like, yeah, you were winning thanks to the scam package, not the combo. Yeah, exactly. I felt like the games that where I was winning because I scammed them out and not because I Chain of Smog. Like, even the games that I won with the Chain of Smog combo, I had to initially Thoughtseize and Grief them before I could get that going. So it feels like at that point you could be running anything really and you would win, and it's just the scam package doing its job. So I feel like this deck either needs to be way more all in on this, just like getting it as fast as possible, or so previous versions of Nic Fit have traditionally been mid-range decks because they didn't really have a combo until Witherbloom Apprentice came around, and those decks would play like all sorts of big beefy green and black creatures like Shieldred Questing Beast, Elder Gargaroth. They would play like more Zeniths. I feel like there's got to be a better balance to where you probably just shouldn't be on the Chain of Smog combo, but I don't know. Like, according to the results, we went 4-1, so who knows? Still have no idea what this Emrakul in the sideboard is for, and I really don't like Assassin's Trophy. Again, giving your opponent a land and paying 2 mana for removal is not something I want to do. This is also a lot of graveyard hate that isn't Leyline of the Void, so maybe that could be re-examined as well. But anyway, that is Nic Fit.